I want to use the water today to talk about what happens when something happens to us in life, an event. And if you just notice when the water drops, actually it hits the water and a little piece jumps up and then it spirals out and it goes to the edges. And creation is that happening, and that instant of impact where there's this contraction and then this expansion. These two forces come together and out of it comes a form. Contraction, expansion, breathe in, breathe out, negative, positive, yin, yang, chaos, order, it doesn't matter. But you can see that in an instant it blends out in this sort of, but think of that instant when that hits the water of spanning a person's life. So there's that instant of form and experience. And it's meant to return to this oneness. It's meant to contract into form and being, and then to rejoin this absolute consciousness. So we come into being, and suddenly I'm here. There's the feeling, I'm here. And when I'm quiet, I'm hearing the wind. I'm feeling the water. I'm smelling. When I'm in this state of listening, I'm aware of objects that I'm listening to. The sun, in a way, is an object of my listening. So it's directed outward towards the world. And in that awareness of something outside the world, I'm the listener and there's the world I'm listening to. But when you redirect your awareness towards the listener, now you step into what I call your big eye, the circle that this water is in. So it's like a circular pool of water, like these little ripples that go out, but it's connected to the whole. But as I come into being, like this hand emerging up out of the one ocean of being, and now I know that I'm here and I have a name, and I start to have experiences. And those experiences are like this impact in the water. So it's so you could think of this as my physical existence. This is clay. And there are these little impacts that happen in life. Now, in most of nature and the universe, the impact happens and it flows back out. The impact, so there's this instant of contraction and this immediate natural expansion. But as humans with minds, that impact creates tension and thought. That impact is we perceive as pain, and we don't like it. So immediately we don't want to let it move. This impact, we sort of freeze it. Literally as if this fluid, water, that will eventually evaporate, it freezes, and the impact, and it's as if it forms these cracks. And so as we go through life, we gather, almost like we're gathering these little stones within this. And this gets so heavy at some point we can drown in our own pain. In that drowning, we remain this tight form. We don't rejoin. We contract away from the big I. The big I is you as expansion, this expansive listening. Listening to nothing, just the listening. And then what's outside of your big I, out of that circle of I amness, if you surrender that listening, you merge with that. You are no longer aware of being aware even. But all these impacts in life condense and harden this body, this form, this name, this identity. And it's as if then we spend life trying to stay on top of the water, trying to stay alive, fighting these rocks. We hate them because they cause us pain. We try to throw them overboard, but we can't. Because the minute we grab them, we have grabbed them. We have tensed, we have contracted, we have thought. So we float through existence like this. And in fact, we don't really float. It's a rough ride. How do, and let's say that what we really want is peace, love, trust, we want to live in the big I. That's what we really want. But all this that we have collected is forcing us into contraction, and our relationship to it, which is contraction, we can't access it. We can't get to that big I. Or if we can, it's so momentary. Or that maybe we believe it's there, but we just can't experience of it. Because the weight of our pain doesn't keep us afloat. So we can merge and move through life like this. Relaxed, flowing, breathing, present. Things form and they unform. And we're going with it. We love, and it dies, and we love again, and it dies. And we keep in this flow of this contraction, expansion, breathing in and breathing out. But all these little moments, and sometimes those moments are years of this happening every day. And it's a story. It's a story of pain. And in the story is the victim or the warrior, which are two forms of these opposites. we get stuck in one or the other. The victim contracts and thinks and sinks. The warrior hardens and moves through life like a submarine. It feels the tug of the victim beneath it, and it hates it. So it's constantly up. Tense, up, not breathing, thinking. All the opposite of the big I, of your I amness, which is what we all really want. And the victim is like an anchor, tugging on it. How to undo the anchor? How to free it from the weight? Because in a sense, we don't really just sort of cut the anchor off and let it sink and abandon it to the bottom. It's not that easy. We actually have to go in search of it. And we search with an energy of affection and love. All these sunken moments that are waiting for us at the bottom. We dive, like diving for pearls, because they have a pearl in them. And they look like ugly rocks, perhaps. And we bring them to the surface, to the expansiveness of our I amness. We bring our pain, our contraction, our beliefs into the big I, which is who you really are, which is God. We dive and bring them up into the light. And somehow or another, we have to liberate this moment that got stuck. However we do that, there are many ways. And we liberate it so that it ripples out. It ripples out, just like this ripples out. And all this constant rippling out, as we dive in and bring them up, allows us to abide in the big I, in who we really are. We have cleared the way. We didn't find anything that wasn't there. We simply dissolved the anchor. And yes, we still have a body, but it moves through life like this boat. And things happen and it goes that way, and it goes this way, and we let ourselves move. But if you carry all this weight within you, and you want to access your big I, your I am, your beingness, and perhaps even beyond, as what is called the Absolute, and you try to do that with an anchor, it'll always be your mind spinning. You'll gather more and more information, ideas. Evoke your big I, the big love, to all the weight, until it becomes weightless, and you become weightless. And one. The feeling of one. Quiet, within and without. life like the light dancing on my face, dancing through me. But just remember, you can't just cut the anchor with your mind. This I am, your whole world is in here. Your whole world. And it's all okay. But just remember who you are. Remember who you are. And invoke it as this spacious, breathing down, listening, even if it's only for 5 seconds, to what moves painfully inside of you. And you step into it. And you just keep doing that over and over again, which is the flow through life. And that's how you live. Because life has pain. We lose what we love. The body hurts. We die. But that death really is this. But to our fear, we must die for it, bring it up, and let it move. So that when we die as the big I that cannot die.